decision day, D-Day here in Nigeria. Monetary Policy Committee is meeting. What will they decide? Who better to tell us? Look into his crystal ball and let us know what they'll do then. Chika Mbonu, our Rise Business Analyst. Good morning to you, sir. Welcome to the show.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you. Good to have you.
There's
that, and then there's also the Chinese saying they want to build factories, electric vehicle factories. But MPC, what do you think is going to happen?
For our viewers again, I will say that like every 2 months, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria, meet to look at the economy and then give decisions on the key elements that drive the money side of the economy. The money economy has the fiscal side driven by the government and the monetary side driven by the Central Bank of Nigeria. And each time they meet, it's always like, would the monetary policy rate stay the same, which is hold?
Right.
Would they increase it or would they reduce it? And now each of those decisions have effect on what happens to the economy, at least for the next 2 months, because the meeting holds every two months. The last one was held in February, and they decided to hold the rate, basically coming from December, where inflation was holding at above 34%, and came down after they managed rebase rates. It came down in January, and then further came down in February, and then again. So as they are in this meeting, if you're in this room, so what are the things you're going to be looking at? The positives. The positives include the fact that there have been this reasonably exchange rate stability for the past 2 months. The other thing you can also say is that another trigger for inflation in Nigeria is the price of petrol, or the PMS. And the Dangote refinery has consistently also brought down those prices. And the inflation in April, the report that came out, actually has moderated. So those in the basket are the kind of things that face the Monetary Policy Committee. And everybody believes that, therefore, that they will actually hold, not move the rate, so they can watch the policies that are put in place permeate the system and have more effects. Be that as it may, some analysts also believe that because of still some issues in the economy, they might actually want to, inch up the monetary policy rate, even if as low as maybe 25 basis points, and to see whether they can tame the remaining forwards of inflation. Now, but there are bigger issues that the CBN should actually, address. One of them has to do with the high cash reserve ratio. And for the commercial banking, which form about 90% of the banking system here, the ratio is 50%, which means for every 100 naira deposit they bring into the system, into the bank, they have to, quarantine 50 naira and play around with only 50 naira. And that has limited the ability of banks to lend. Sometimes has created also illiquidity in the banking system and the high interest and deposit rates. And that's, causes problems. So they need to look at that also. But the major issue, which ties in to the efficacy of the monetary policy rates, is the fact that about 90% of the currency in circulation is outside the banking system. Outside the banking system. Out of about the 5.24 trillion of currency in circulation, more than 4.74 trillion, about 91% of it is outside the banking system. So you're trying to kill a rat in your house, but the rats, before you spread anything, have actually moved from the door holes and left to the garden. So by the time you finish spraying, they'll come out again. So you continue seeing rat in your house. So the effects of the monetary policy initiatives, namely the monetary policy rate, the cash reserve ratio, and the liquidity ratio, which the CBN will address when they had the press conference later today, have limited impact on the variety, because a lot of the money is either under the people's bed or sock away, as the case may be, and those that. So that is that. So we hope that they will look at that in doing that, address the issue of the cash reserve ratio, which is getting some illiquidity in the banking system. I see interest rate hanging. So overall for the economy, so what is in for the citizens of Nigeria? The rates hanging up there still, interest rate is still high, lending rates will still be very high. But those, as they say, it is pen some, it is Swiss some. Those who have deposits will still be, getting something. Inflation will moderate and for the citizens also. But the problem is, again, at the marketplace, we have not seen the impact of these reductions yet. Yeah, so let's see what happens in the afternoon.
All right, we'll see. To the mining sector, which we've talked about in the past.
We have, a lot of reports you read, Rotus, would say that there's literally no mineral. That's what the best minerals in the world that the whole world looking for are found in Nigeria. Yeah. Let's even start with the lithium, which is one that we know now. The EV, there's electric vehicles and the lithium batteries, which everybody's looking for. They're all bound there. But you see, we know, and I'm happy that the minister was brave enough to bring it up with the Chinese envoy, is the fact that there have been a lot of illegal mining in Nigeria. And I'm sorry to tag them, but a lot of them have been associated with some Chinese people. And there's also analysts who have said that this has had some direct relationship with the level of banditry, in those captive areas where you have mining. So we believe that this is good, and it ties into what Dr. Deshina talked about if we want to change this economy, that we shouldn't be exporting wood, we shouldn't be exporting raw materials, we shouldn't be exporting crude oil, all those things should be processed in Nigeria and more. So if these, electric vehicles plants are coming here, of course, positive for our country. Employment will be created, skills will be upgraded, and of course the GDP will go higher. And then the level of value added also will increase for the economy. So that's commendable, and I hope that this continues, drives in the line with there's always a suspicion. I'll say that on the air, when Chinese people come, they say Chinese will come to you. So you always ask yourself, are there some hidden clauses in the tiny clauses in the agreement? So as we're celebrating this partnership, we'll have to check, make sure that no clauses at the back of the agreement that we'll have to use microscope to look at for the benefit of our country. But this is good. We want more manufacturing to be done into Nigeria. More of these minerals that we have to be processed in Nigeria, and then higher value added exported to get more this for our country, for the country.
Fantastic. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see what happens with the MPC later today. Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, thank you for your time.